I witnessed something on Monday morning when I was getting my coffee at Dunkin Donuts, and it's something that has been troubling me for the last 72 hours, the last 3 days. It's just something that just keeps popping back into my mind. I thought about it last night in the middle of the night when I woke up to use the bathroom. I've been thinking about it on my morning walks, and sometimes it just comes to me in the afternoon when I'm working out by the pool. I went in on Monday morning, as I always do, after I drop Emery off at school and after I do my morning walk and all that stuff. And I stop in at Dunkin Donuts on the way back from school, and I grab my large coffee for the day. And I usually head home then and study for an hour or two, and copyright for at least an hour or two by the pool. And this day on Monday, when I got my coffee, when I was walking into Dunkin Donuts, I noticed a young guy walking up. He had a backpack. He had actually had a pair of rollerblades, and he looked like he was maybe in his late 20s. It's hard to tell. Let's say 28, 29. And he showed up at the door at Dunkin's. It's out in a mall, really nice area. And he put his backpack down on the ground with his rollerblades. He wasn't wearing the skates. And he started walking down towards the dance studio. There's nobody up at this time. There's only a few people in Dunkin's at the time. So it's beautiful out. It's quiet. It's sunny. It's it's 8 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning. So I go in and get my coffee and talk to my girls as usual. Just an outstanding team in that particular Dunkin's. The franchise is clean. It's tidy. And these girls, as I've said many times, there's two of them in there. If I was recruiting, which I'm not presently doing, there's two girls in there that I would give my business card to and say, call me if you ever are thinking of a career change. And how the hell would you not be thinking about a career change if you're being paid $15 an hour to get up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning and starting work at 4:30 a.m., which is what they're doing. I asked them. They said, oh, I'm in at 4:30 this morning to open the doors at 5. And most of those ladies are working some of them 7 days a week, because they're having a hell of a time finding anybody that wants to work in those, what I call belly-to-belly service jobs. So those girls are keeping that franchise going, that particular one. And I see the owner in there behind the counter. I see what appears to be the owner's father, of all things, behind the counter. So they're doing whatever they have to do. That's business. So I get my coffee from these great people. I have my give energy moment where, I try to leave things better than I got them. I walk in, I don't use the drive-through. I try to speak to everybody and use their name and smile and give positive energy. Like Coach Saban says, I want to show up every day and I want to bring positive energy to my teammates. And in this particular case, just things as simple as smiling, as simple as saying hello, giving good energy, not being a time and energy vampire. So I do this and I walk out the door, and this young man's bag and his rollerblades are still sitting at the door when I walk out. So I look at them and I got my coffee and I head towards my vehicle, which is parked about 75 feet away. And as I'm walking over to my vehicle, I notice that he walked down. It's like a hallway to the different businesses that are closed at the time, a dance studio and a chiropractic clinic. and he's sleeping or lying on the bench. And you just don't see this in Naples. Like, that's one of the things about here that's significantly different, is you don't see a lot of homelessness. You don't see a lot of youth homelessness. You don't see a lot of homelessness. Where we are in Canada, in Ottawa or in Toronto, I mean, you can't stop at a red light without being accosted with somebody, asking you for money. Every single red light in all the busy districts. And it just gets to be way too much. It gets to be very intrusive. And some of these panhandlers are extremely aggressive. So it's been a refreshing change here in Naples, where you don't see this. You don't see the tent city set up. You don't see the people, sitting on the sidewalks outside of the small business where the guy's trying to run a company, trying to make some money. You just don't see that kind of stuff. You're not having people coming up to you every time you walk out of a business and ask you for money. So maybe this is why it really took me by surprise to see this young man, basically sleeping on this bench. And he had been looking for a place to lie down, and God knows his story, right? So I get in my vehicle, I looked at it, then I got my vehicle and I headed home. I had things to do. I had a full day of work for my world building coaching. I had to build my training that day. But it never left my thoughts. And the reason I say that is, good morning. I just kept thinking about it even on the Monday when I was doing my work for my world building coaching program. And I just thought about it for a while and it bothered me. The part that bothered me as a badass millionaire, as a leader, as a father, as a husband, what bothered me the most is that I did nothing. And I am, as you may know, the furthest person away from a bleeding heart. I believe first and foremost in the principles of honesty, hard work, discipline. I believe in self-reliance. I believe that a person can start with nothing and pick themselves up, in the greatest country in the world, and they can make themselves into anything that they're willing to work and study and implement and never surrender to never give up. I believe in self-responsibility, and I don't believe in fate. It's black and white to me. I don't believe in fate. I believe that if it's going to be, it's up to me. I don't believe in I don't believe in equality in terms of everybody getting the same start, because that's simple fantasy. That's not true. I've personally had multiple advantages where I am, the color of my skin, the parents that I had, the opportunities I've been given, the education. I've had numerous advantages that many other people do not receive. I get that. But I am far, far from a bleeding heart where I believe throwing money at problems, our government throwing money at problems and just making things worse, right? I don't believe in lawlessness. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I believe in law and order. I believe that people should not be living on the streets in the richest country in the world. And I don't believe in any of that. I believe that we should be helping people that require help. I believe that people who have the ability to work should be working. I believe that in all that stuff, in 100% self-responsibility and self-reliance. If people have addiction issues and mental health issues and trauma issues, we need to get these people off our streets, and we need to get them the help that they require. But living, in the doorstep of somebody's business, urinating on the street and abusing drugs and alcohol and accosting people is certainly not something that I believe is acceptable. If people genuinely want help, I believe that we as a country should be helping them. With this said, I just had this feeling in my gut that, like, almost like a cowardly feeling, where I did nothing as a man. I did nothing. And I don't believe I believe a handout today for a willing and able person is a handout tomorrow. But I didn't know this young man's story. And I need it in this particular case to suspend judgment and do something first thing in the morning to help a fellow brother. That's my brother on the bench. And instead, I just got in my vehicle and I drove away into my near perfect world. And that's bothered me ever since. I teach leadership. I teach autonomy. I teach, teach accountability. I teach responsibility. And I teach gratitude and, impact, making an impact in somebody's life. And I wasn't going to change the direction of that young man's life. But my gut tells me, as I reflect now, and I've prayed about it, I've thought about it, and what I would do differently is I would have went back inside and I would have bought that young man breakfast. Something as healthy as I could have purchased, with maybe a glass with some orange juice or a coffee or a water. And that wouldn't have taken more than 5 minutes of my time. And it's not beyond anybody like myself, like yourself, $5, $6, $7, $8, whatever it is, to feed somebody who's hungry that morning. I'm not talking about setting up a program or supporting, a soup kitchen or something that you're not fully supportive of. Just at that moment in time, I knew the right thing to do in that particular moment was to suspend judgment and help my brother. And I didn't do it. I got in my vehicle and I drove away. And it's bothered me since, and it should bother me. And maybe that's the point and the message that my creator is trying to send to me, is that, you know what, Michael, you blew that one. You had an opportunity to help somebody without any thought of, pat on the back, without any hope of return, and you didn't do it. You simply didn't give. When you had an opportunity to be a leader, you had an opportunity to help somebody that was probably very hungry. And sure, it's not lasting, and sure, it's not a solution, but not everything has to be. And I could have just done a tiny, tiny little detail that nobody would have known about except for me. There would have been no return expected, and I didn't do it. So, being a very forward-thinking person, my thoughts now are how to make sure something like that doesn't happen again. When I see something that troubles me and I don't stand up and I don't speak about it, because I am a leader and I am a coach and I am outspoken and I am honest and I am authentic and I am unneedy, or not 100% unneedy. I'm all those things. But that showed me that how much happiness, our personal happiness and peace of mind, this experience has showed me how my happiness and my peace of mind is linked to me following my values. My values are honesty and hard work, autonomy, leadership, gratitude, impact, serving others, making a difference in the world. And when I didn't do that in an instant, where I turned my back on a fellow human being, in this particular case, I'm not Mother Teresa. I'm not out there to donate money to people that are living on the streets and using drugs and selling drugs. That's not what my message is at all. But my gut, my golden gut, my intuition, which is almost never wrong, it spoke to me and I ignored it. And all I had to do was turn on my heel, go back into Dunkin' Donuts, buy this young man something healthy for breakfast, and give it to him, and the rest is up to him. I didn't have to. I didn't have to judge or even. No, I just could have made his day. The same as holding the door for somebody with a smile. The same as I give energy to the people that I meet when I'm out. Whether it's my coffee in the morning or Emery's teacher, being a leader, giving a smile, calling the person by name, compliments that are sincere, whatever it is, just making the person feel important and giving great energy out into the world that we live in. Being a positive ray for people and making a positive difference. So it's reminded me that I need to live my core values. And one of my core values is impact and contribution. And I really need to continue to focus this next chapter of my life on serving other people. And that's my personal mission, by the way. We've worked on our personal missions in our world building program, and my personal mission is to help 1 million businessmen like you transform your life through world building. And world building is a training, an ancient art, a lost ancient art, where I teach men like you how to build their own personal and professional worlds. In other words, their families and their businesses. And living life and doing business on your own terms is the result. A life of freedom, independence, autonomy, control, and fun. Yes, some fun. Good morning. So that's where that is at. I've been banging my head trying to think of what I could do. Maybe I'll run into this guy again. Maybe I won't. Things will be different. But I didn't need to save him or save the world or do something for Michael McLean. All I needed to do was help my brother in an instant. And it would have been nothing more than buying him his breakfast or, giving the man food and just showing him a tiny bit of respect. And who knows, you compound enough of those situations where we help other people. Some people do take it and run with it. Most don't, but some do. So instead of just being a hard ass all the time, which I seem to be, and everything being black and white, and this is the right way and that's the wrong way, and you're accountable for your life and which is, I believe in all that stuff. Sometimes I need to suspend judgment and just help a person who needs help. I don't need to guess what their history is. I don't need to call them a victim. I don't need to always. Sometimes I can just help and move on with my day and not look for anything in return. So that's my feelings on that. It's reignited my fire over the last 24 hours to help as many people as I can to transform the lives of 1 million businessmen. In my estimation, it's going to take 10, maybe 15 years of my life, God willing. And I'm going to do it through writing books and writing newsletters, running world building, brotherhood, society coaching programs, masterminds. I'm going to do whatever I have to, shooting videos every single day of my life, whatever it's going to take to transform the lives of 1 million businessmen, to help them live lives and do business on their own terms. That's what my focus is going to be on. And I'm not going to turn on my heel and walk away. I'm not going to roll my eyes and head the other direction. And the more people that I can impact personally, if I can impact 1 million people over the next 10 years, next 15 years, then those people can impact a certain number, and it's just exponential. That's where winning really happens. There's where impact really happens. The most positive thing in our world is the most contagious and positive thing is a positive example. Being a father, what's the greatest thing we can do? The most contagious thing you can do is be a positive example to show your children, how to live a life of character, integrity, hard work. And it's the same with everything else. The most important thing I can do over the next 10 years is to be a contagious, positive example helping other men with no expectation of any return as well. That's the secret. I don't need any more pats on the back. I don't need any more awards. I've already done that. What I need to do is make an impact to be happy, to be satisfied, to be a good father, to be a good husband. I need to have an impact and serve others. And that's what I'm praying for every morning. I'm praying for the opportunity to make an impact. Please use me to serve others. On my coaching program today, I'll be on there at 90 minutes with the guys. And I visualize before I go on, and I visualize myself making an impact. I visualize myself serving others. I visualize in my mind the guys learning, the guys being present, the guys doing, their world building homework. I visualize them sitting with their spouses and their children. I visualize them building their new worlds with their goals, their missions, their values, their dreams, all of this stuff. I visualize them winning. And that's what I need to be doing, is living my values so that I can have peace of mind and I can have a life. The next chapter of my life is about service and impact, and I continue to grow every day as a human being. I'm going to be very happy when I look up at the scoreboard at the end. I'm going to trust the process. So I wanted to share that moment of what I would call weakness, where I had the opportunity to make a difference, a tiny, almost insignificant difference in somebody's life, and I chose not to, and how I'm learning from it, and how my intuition and my creator are on my ass about it, and all of that stuff. And it's a learning experience and it's a growing experience, but it's not something that you can shove down and ignore. And so I wanted to share that with you. It makes me feel a little bit better, even just talking about it, but most importantly, doing something about it. I was thinking the other day of my daughter, Emery. You're talking about contagious, positive examples. If my daughter was with me, she's 9 years old, and I'm very conscious of what I say and what I do and how I carry myself. I want her to see how a real man lives. I want her to see how a real father lives. And I'm not perfect, but I want her to see a man on a mission. And if she was with me and she was holding my hand and I had my coffee and we were heading back to the vehicle, I would have turned around and I would have bought that young man his breakfast and something to drink, to hydrate with. And that just scares the shit out of me, that when I didn't have those young, influential eyes, when I was by myself and nobody was watching, because we are who we are when nobody's watching, right? That's character. You are who you are when nobody's watching. Well, in that particular case that I've explained, nobody was watching. I was by myself, and I failed the test. I failed the test in this particular situation, and I'm ashamed of that fact, that when nobody was watching, I failed my personal character test. I didn't live my values. I didn't live my goals. and I didn't do what my golden gut and my intuition told me to do. So, lesson learned, a moment of weakness, whatever you want to call it, doesn't make any difference. I'm 100% responsible for every result in my life. My wins, if I'm going to take my credit for wins, I need to take my credit for my losses. And that was a loss on Monday. That's what losing looks like for me. And I need to accept that loss, and I need to fucking learn from that loss. In the great words of Tim Grover, accept it, admit it, apologize for it, and do something about it. Next is his way of saying it. Admit you've done something, admit it, apologize for it, and do something about it. Move the hell on and make sure that you're better for it. And that's what my intention is in this particular case. If you don't have a copy of my book, How to Not Get Your Ass Kicked in Business and in Life, you can grab a copy below. Less than your sugar drinks for the week, $20, $19.95 at nobullbook.com. That's nobullbook.com. I always think that looks like the White House in Washington when I'm walking up. You got the black gates and you got this massive white building, like it's condos. So it's like every morning I'm walking up to the gates of Washington, and someday those gates are going to open up and I'm going to walk in and they're going to say, "Good morning, Mr. President." Hey, see it, believe it, achieve it. And if you're interested in being put on a waiting list, the coaching waiting list for my world building, it's my exclusive 8-week Brotherhood Society, which I'm doing live right now. If you're interested in being put on a waiting list for the next society training, you can do that below as well. badassmillionaire.com/apply. Yes, you have to apply and qualify. And that's it for today. I shoot these videos every single day. Rain, shine, snow, heat, feeling good, feeling crappy. Doesn't make any difference. The show goes on, pounding the rock every day. Please hit that like button below. Please subscribe. My goal is to get to, I was working on my vision board yesterday, and one of the things I put up on my vision board was 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Now, I don't think I'll even get close to 1 million subscribers before I'm deplatformed or canceled. But the point is even if I have to move to a different media, which I will, I have my own video platform if I require it, I want to have 1 to 2 million subscribers. It's just a goal. It doesn't even really mean anything. It just means that people are watching my videos, I guess, which does mean something. You got to have consumption. So that's something. If you could subscribe below, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool as well. I don't care. And comments are appreciated as well. So that's it. That's all. Guys, 2 words that changed my life 18 years ago. Helped me start living my life on my own terms. And 2 words that certainly can change your life. Be relentless.